Hello and welcome. Hi, I'm author and strategist Grace Rolson. I'm a mom survivor. This is a free video for you. If you're on my channel, like and subscribe because there's many hundreds of videos with my survivor wisdom. And I teach the use of skillful means and some higher level strategies that moms can use to stop the co parenting battle and get more cooperation and peace for themselves and their children. So, if you are a mom in a custody battle or required to co parent with a narcissist, welcome to my work. My goal and aim is to encourage, educate, and empower the safe, loving mom. If that's you, stay for this whole video. I have dozens of guides. I have 6 books for moms. I'm going to give you 5 reasons to get a lawyer. And if you're using skillful means or want to use skillful means, this can come in handy. So I encourage you to think in terms of avoiding being the target of blame to a narcissist, and avoid being the narcissist's opponent. And I'm encouraging you and suggesting that you think that way because it can lead to peace and cooperation and things that you didn't know were possible with your narcissistic ex. So if this is you, welcome to my work. Like and subscribe. Just a quick disclaimer, because I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I'm like you, a survivor. So take what's helpful and leave the rest. I'm sharing what worked for me. It may not work for you, and it also may depend on the phase that you're in. So if you're in an early phase, this may not apply. So put it in the back of your mind that it might be helpful. So I share my survivor wisdom so that moms can try to enjoy their child's one and only childhood, stay in their child's life, be able to have a life outside of that narcissistic ex. I'm now a narcissistic abuse and recovery expert and survival expert because we survived a 12-year family court battle. And we won some in family court, won some protections, lost a bunch in a certain round. So I'd been in our family court for over a decade. It was stressful. It was brutal. It was expensive, emotionally taxing. And so now that we're out of it and I won my rights back in multiple ways, we have peace. And what I used was skillful means. So my survivor wisdom is that you can learn and outgrow the narcissist. You can heal as you go through it, as you learn from your mistakes. And some of my survivor wisdom told me that I shouldn't self represent because I was putting myself as his opponent, his adversary, and potentially the target of blame. And I wanted to be able to negotiate and get out of family court since the next level of post separation abuse became legal abuse. And I wanted to be able to find a middle way because there was no way to remove him from our child's life. I had tried that to keep her safe, to keep her out of a drunk driver's car and not be narcissistically abused. But our courts were all about parents' rights over child safety. And it's very hard to win on emotional abuse. There's got to be like physical scars and very serious things that are documented, and the evidence has to be a certain way. So there wasn't a way to protect her from her own father in my case, using the courts. So I had to learn how to put in buffers and boundaries and firewalls and different things that could help her endure and cope and survive her narcissist dad. So if you're mistakenly putting yourself as the narcissist opponent by saying things like, I'm going to take you to court, and you're threatening court, or filing motions personally against him, that may hinder you from being able to use the skills that I teach, like skillful means, non-resistance, to get to negotiations. Narcissists generally don't want to negotiate with their opponent or their adversary. They view it as a weakness. So I'll get into the 5 reasons why you want to get a lawyer for this whole situation. So if you're ready to use some of my survivor wisdom or think about it and think about how skillful means might help you, I'm here to teach. And I say learn all you can because knowledge is power. My background is loving and leaving an alcoholic after 15 years of all the narcissistic abuse tactics. And then I went on in family court to try to fight to protect my daughter. And that fight was a very taxing fight. I'm not a fighter by nature. And I had to learn along the way. It was very difficult for me to get a lawyer because of the financial situation I was in, because he didn't want to pay the right amount of child support. Our child had special needs. So I was home because she couldn't be in certain daycares. So I have a guide called Get the Right Lawyer Guide for Moms with a 20-question attorney interview worksheet. I say read this all the way through and maximize legal consultations with keeping yourself focused on what it is you need to know from family court and family law lawyers who go to your family court and know your judge. So you can go in prepared, and preparation is key. I found that getting an attorney can and often does deter the narcissist from certain things. It can make them shape up, look better, um, but sometimes it just makes them hide things better. So it is one tool that you can use. And here are some of the 5 things that I would say are reasons not to self represent and reasons to get a lawyer. Is one, us loving, caring, protective, healthy moms don't know the law, and it's healthy for us to know our limits. There are rules of submission of evidence. I can't tell you how many moms I have helped over the years, over 10 years of doing this work, who think they've got this evidence and they'll bring it straight to the judge and it gets thrown out. The judge don't care. It just goes into the high conflict pile. The mom actually looks bad bringing it up. So we don't know all of those rules. We don't know how the courtroom tends to go. So if we don't know law or family law, then it's really a place that we need to ask for help. And sometimes that means finding free legal aid or getting a lawyer to advise us behind the scenes, or calling 11 lawyers to find one that will represent us pro bono or for a certain amount each month. Um, so number 2 would be emotional versus logical. You can't be, science has shown you can't be in this emotional part of the brain and the logical common sense part of the brain at the same time. So we're talking about our kids, our young, precious, vulnerable children against our abuser. And it's hard to not get emotional. And then if we are emotional about things we ought to be emotional about, it can make us look unsettled and unstable to a judge. So we want to appear stable and smart and logical, because that's how the judge is approaching these cases. So if we want that, we often need representation, which is experienced family law lawyer. If we do self-represent, say I'm taking you to court for child support or whatever, uh, we are the opposing party. And I say, go watch the Know the Narcissist video so you learn some of the things they are, like highly competitive, they want to win, paranoid, they're not going to treat their opponent very well. So if you're setting yourself up as the narcissist opponent, enemy, target, person to destroy, adversary, that's not a good place to be when you're dealing with a personality disordered narcissist who's abusive. So be smart about this. Number 4 is not having a lawyer can be seen as a weakness in the narcissist's eyes, and we want to appear strong. We don't want to appear weak to someone who will, often attack people when they're down at their lowest. Without the empathy and without the long term thinking abilities that a narcissist tend to have in their brain structure, uh, they often do things that will harm themselves later on, and that would be hurting people or getting one over on someone when they're at their weakest. And we all remember that. And that's not like friendly, civil, normal. It's not healthy for society or for us to have a person that's toxic like that in our lives. And so they ruin their chances of ever having people like us again when they do stuff like that. Number 5 is we're not experienced family law lawyers. We don't know our judge. We don't know the pet peeves. We haven't tried cases. We haven't seen what's possible. So we don't know what's going on in the family court unless you're going every day and sitting there and watching and you're learning and becoming a paralegal. And many of us moms have other jobs and multiple kids, and that's just not possible for us to become our own lawyer or our own paralegal. So we need to ask for help. So think this one all the way through. Moms are often posting on my private groups, I need help self-representing, but that self-representing to, bring the narcissist to task and make him pay child support, the consequences of that, the retaliation, the things that they can do to us, like things that you haven't even thought of. Don't underestimate the narcissist. Reporting us to the IRS for false tax fraud, which happened to me after I won a round in family court. Shooting out my tire after I won a round in family court. All kinds of things. That's why I have a few videos on why winning against the narcissist in family court isn't everything. So we have to think not all or nothing, all black and white. We often have to think in that gray area to find a middle path for all that we're dealing with the narcissist. It isn't always a straight shot to the judge. It's often unfair. Often you'll get justice, but then you'll suffer injustice. So you'll need several strategies, and you'll need a documentation strategy and a emotional support strategy, a legal strategy, a defense, an offense, a parenting strategy, and a communication strategy. All of these strategies, I have them in all 6 of my books. And I do talk about the use of skillful means so that we can go from stressed to strategic. When I was in the custody battle, there were so many things that we didn't expect to be thrown at us. Experts that they found that were, father's rights experts. There were so many legal twists and turns. I didn't have backup plans. I wasn't a lawyer, and I was glad that my lawyer knew about some of this. So knowledge and preparedness equals power. If you're feeling powerless, use my Get the Right Lawyer guide. Start interviewing potential attorneys using the worksheet. It's always wise to interview the best in the area so that you have that person. You've already consulted with them. And often our custody case is only as good as our attorney. So high powered attorneys often push for what their clients want, and they're not really thinking about the children, unfortunately. So if you've got legal questions, please ask a top family law lawyer. Here are my books, 1 through 6, from Co-Parenting with a Narcissist, 7 Self Rules to Stay Sane, to how to fight a narcissist in family court and win. Watch out for that win word. How to survive a custody battle with a narcissist when the family courts force you to co-parent. My 4th book, Co-Parenting with a Sociopath. My 5th, Tame the Narcissist, 10 Keys for Better Co-Parenting to Create Peace Using Strategy and Skillful Means. My 6th book, Wisdom for Ending the Co-Parenting War in a Custody Battle with a Narcissist. So I encourage you to pick up my books, read them 1 through 6. You'll see the progression of my story, how I went from, using the courts, backing up into the microscope of the family courts failing us in some, giving us other protections, and then really failing us because my ex hired one of the best narcissistic lawyers to just take me out. And then how I went to using skillful means and getting out of that and having him leave his own attorney because she kept the battle going. I have all my tips, tools, and strategies in my books. There is a 20 wants list strategy where you can gain instant leverage, and it's a power tool. I say do this before you get to a lawyer with one of us experts or survivors, because there's so much that you can ask for that then becomes a leverage. And using skillful means you have the chance to position yourself, often, not always, but you have a chance to position yourself for negotiations with a narcissist when you're not his opponent, you're not dragging him to court. So think about how you might, this is a video, you can find this on my YouTube channel to position yourself for successful negotiations. Often you've got to have that leverage, you've got to have that offense, not just the defense. There is a video on my channel, Know the Narcissist. Find that. It's definitely eye-opening. Maybe you don't know how they work and you keep projecting your good-hearted, child caring self onto the narcissist, and they care about them and not the children. And you're shocked when you see it. If you're still shocked by some of the narcissist behaviors, go watch that video. This is all of these are in my books. You could go 1 through 6. You can come to my blog. I have lots of tips and tools on my uh, groups for moms, especially about limiting communication, because moms often give too many details, too much extra, and that can go against them. A narcissist can twist and turn and use anything as ammunition. I have a strategies video for strategies to deal, because you'll need different strategies at different times, multiple strategies working simultaneously, and that will help reduce the stress. It's like, oh, this is my documentation strategy. This is where I go. This is our legal strategy, and we're trying this, and we might have to zigzag and try another strategy. This is the communication strategy with the narcissist. This is my support strategy. These are my counselors and coaches and mentors. I say, have a team helping you to endure this with a narcissist. I say don't allow the narcissist to terrorize you using your fear of court, using your fear of lawyers, using your fear of judge. So getting representation can help tame some of your own fears. And when we tame some of our own fears and we're not terrorizing ourselves and we're healing, getting support, creating these solid strategies, we come across as stronger and healthier to the courts and other professionals. Thank you for listening or watching. If you're listening on my podcast, I'm so glad you're here listening to episodes. Learn all you can. I have a free Substack newsletter, Navigate Around the Narcissists. You can subscribe for free. It also comes with a podcast. I say that you can have and hold leverage against the narcissist as long as you need to. You don't want to play your cards, meaning you don't want to tell him what you've got. That's something you tell your lawyer, and your lawyer decides when and if to play any of those cards. A lot of lawyers wait till the last minute, so the other side isn't prepared for that. So just know that you and your lawyer really do have to work as a team on your case. You can also be working on your case with documentation and strategizing before you get to the lawyer. You can also ask your lawyer, what 5 things do I need to document in my case? You can use your lawyer to answer all of these questions. So look for my How to Document the Narcissist. It's an easier guide. And remember that you can become empowered. You can empower yourself by getting legal representation. And sometimes you have to ask multiple people to help. Some moms get loans out to retain a lawyer. Some moms have to do GoFundMes. Some moms have to call a lot of lawyers asking for pro bono work, or ask for lawyers to consult behind the scenes, wait to the last minute to have the lawyer appear. There's multiple ways of getting the legal guidance that moms need. So keep an open mind, and sometimes we do have to get creative and ask for help. Keep learning, healing, and growing, and keep being a great mom. Thanks for listening and watching.